Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akaman. Now, let the buzz
Oh gosh, you guys, I missed it. I missed you guys last week. Hello everyone, if you are tuning into AfterBuzzTV.com, you have come to the right place. This is The Amazing Race for season 26, episode 6. Smells like $1 million. I'm your host, James Wallington, and across from me are two of my favorite people.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jessica Carroll, and...
Hey everybody, I'm Justin Nichols, and God, it's good to be back, all three of us.
Yay, reunited at last.
Reunited, and it feels so good. We're just in a singing mood here in the studio today.
Okay, so I'm pulling up the live chat right now. Wi-Fi was going a little slow for me there for a second, but hopefully we'll get the live chat up and running.
Yep.
So far, we know that Ruth V, she's the first one checked in today, or the first one to leave a comment. Sal Perez is in, James. Arrowman's back. Joseph Boza, as always, he's here with already hashtagging Team James. Get out of here, Joseph Boza. Get out of here. Anyway, good to have you guys all watching live right now.
Yes. So I have to say, just to jump the gun and just talk about the episode overall, I was obsessed with this episode.
Yeah.
Everything about it, loved it. I was entertained the entire 45 minutes that I was watching. Couldn't get enough of it. What did you guys think?
It was a shocker. This episode, literally, everything that I expected, it pretty much went in reverse.
That's totally how it was. And you know, it's funny because when we come into the studio, we try not to talk about The Amazing Race because we want to leave it for our conversation right now.
Right.
Jessica and I couldn't stop earlier. We're like, this episode was crazy.
So crazy. Like, one of the best, for sure. It was just so unexpected and entertaining, and I just loved it.
Yay. Well, before we go forward to it, I just need to give a shout out to Bergen. I did end up meeting up with him after last week when I called in. Will went with me, and Bergen was just a wonderful, wonderful guy, and it was just really fun. Obviously, you know, when we've gone out with racers that have been here before, it's fun to hear like the first-hand accounts of their experience. So it was just a lot of fun to hear the stories and who Bergen still talks to, and just it seemed like this cast is relatively close, just like you know, season 23. So
Awesome.
that's a good thing.
Does he ever hear from Kurt?
I think so. We didn't really touch on that though.
Did you ask about Haley and Blair?
Oh, I forgot to ask. But they are like Bergen's like best friends with Haley, and so he's actually going to be going to Florida. Oh, maybe that was a lie. I don't know. I think they're going to be hanging out soon.
I'm Facebook friends with a lot of this cast this season.
Oh yeah. What juice did you find?
Yeah.
There was a photo of Haley with Jeff on the beach.
I know.
This week.
I'm telling you, there's something going on with them.
However, I also think that I think Jackie was in the photo too.
Well, Jackie did fly out to Florida this past week to hang out with Jeff and Haley to obviously watch the episode too. It would make sense.
It was a photo of the three of them, of Haley, Jeff, and Jackie. Where does Jeff live? Is it in Florida?
I thought he lived in St. Petersburg.
Oh, which is where Haley is.
Yeah.
Huh.
We are such investigators over here.
Yeah.
Okay, I finally have the live chat up, so this is exciting. Okay, good. We are ready to rock and roll. All right, so season 26, episode 6, smells like $1 million. The teams in order leaving the mat are Allie and Steve in first place, Matt and Ashley in second, Jeff and Jackie in third, Jelani and Jenny in fourth, Haley and Blair in fifth, Laura and Tyler in sixth, and then taking up the rear are Mike and Rochelle in seventh. Starting out this leg, they got their route info that they would be traveling to Monaco, France, but they had to stop in Nice, France first. The route info said that they had to travel to Nice, France. Upon arrival, they had to make their way to the Hotel Westminster to be fitted in evening wear before taking a helicopter ride to Monaco. Let's check in with the teams. Blair was talking about how they need to stop being at war with each other and do things for and as a team, and that they would do pretty well, which foreshadow. We saw this episode. Allie was talking about how they're doing perfectly fine, which I agree. we never have seen like Allie and Steve go head to head yet, at least.
Right.
Jackie, she's talking about, oh yeah, we fight, we just get it out of our system, get over it, they're having a great time, and they say they like each other. But what I find interesting, and tell me if you guys feel this way too, Jeff, like, we never really hear him talking about like his feelings for Jackie in interviews, other than we're having a lot of fun together.
And then Jackie's like,
we like each other.
Yeah, she's all like spilling her guts over there. And then, yeah, you're right. Jeff is just very composed. Yeah, it's fun.
They're composed, but of all the blind date couples, I really do feel like they are the most couple-like on the race. I mean, I know we just said we don't think they're together anymore, but it seemed like as they're racing right now, they seem to be into each other.
We saw it this episode, too.
Mm-hmm. Especially on the mat at the finish.
Hey,
So then we also see Rochelle, and this is where I'm starting to think, okay, Mike and Rochelle, they've already surprised a lot of us who've been watching. We predicted them to go home quite a few times this season already.
I really have.
But somehow they just keep delivering just by a hair. Every episode. And they had a sound clip this episode where Rochelle's like, oh, we're the underdogs, yada, yada, yada. And I always like there's usually an underdog team that surprises everybody.
Yeah.
That's, if not in the top 3, at least in the top 4 or 5 teams.
Look at last season with the Candy Girls.
Exactly.
They said underdog every single episode, and then even the final episode, the 2-hour one, remember, they should have been eliminated because they came in 4th, and they were like, surprise, 4 teams are going to the final leg.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could be the same thing as last time, where Mike and Rochelle make it to the final 3 or 4.
They are like a lucky couple, I swear, because, I mean, even how they just randomly asked to be on standby to get on the first flight, boom, they're on. I mean, that's huge. And that's all luck. Like, half of Amazing Race is luck, and they have luck working for them. Because they
really
can go from the back of the bus to the front, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Joseph Bose just popped in on the live chat and said Rochelle and Mike were 4 hours behind Allie and Steve at the start of this leg. So yeah, talk about luck, Jess. They absolutely had luck this leg. Just the fact that they were able to bump into them at the gate in the airport and be like, hey, can we get on standby? And then it worked out.
Well, I'm
crazy.
I mean, I guess they don't really show a lot of airport interaction. And like, it's fun to kind of see CBS post the behind the scenes footage online of like what they do in the airport. But they clearly have a lot of downtime when they're at the gate. I'm surprised that no other team asked to go. I guess I thought, I just assumed that what we don't see is that every single flight they go on, every single episode, they are going to every single gate asked to go on standby. I guess I thought you would do that.
Literally the same thing went through my head. As I was like, honestly, I would try to go standby on every opportunity I could.
That's at least better than the flight you have.
Even if let's say, okay, so we got this ticket, but if you could go standby on the flight that's earlier, why not? Like, at least try.
I agree.
I just assumed they edited it out previously, but I guess not. Smart move for them.
Smart, yeah. That's something that I would think more people would have thought of. But go Mike and Michelle.
Go Mike and Michelle. So I'm just looking at the live chat here. Ellis Tedder just popped in and said, Haley and Jeff are just friends. Ellis, do you have any proof that they are just friends, or are you just making an assumption? Because I really want to know if you have some inside scoop that we're not aware of.
Let us know.
And now Arrow Man is saying, are Mike and Ro even a couple? It seems forced. He hasn't even met her kid.
Which we've kind of touched on in past after shows so far for this season, that was one of the things that stuck out to us since the first episode. But it makes sense because Rochelle didn't prove her point about how, she's dated here and there, and the guy will come in and meet the kid, and then the kid gets attached, and then the relationship's over. So I think Rochelle's just holding her cards close and playing it safe for the sake of her child, which I think is just a motherly instinct, maybe.
I think it's great because if she introduced her son to every guy that she dated, it would be overkill for the boy, like, unless you really think like, okay, I can actually see a future with this guy, which Amazing Race is the perfect test, then you can introduce the boy to your son. So I give you props, Rochelle. I think that's awesome, and I do think they're a couple. I think that they communicate very well. They're so sweet to each other, supportive, so I think that they're a cute couple, and clearly they're doing well.
And I just think it's also, they're one of those couples where they haven't been together for like 20 years. And so it's not that unusual when you consider that they haven't been together for that long. So, it makes sense to me. And I do really think, to answer his question, I think they are together.
I agree.
Genuinely together.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming now Matt's probably met her kid. All of this.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did I say Matt? Did I say Matt?
I heard Matt. I don't
know. It's been a long. It's a Monday. It's been a long day.
I was like Matt from Matt and Ashley.
They're actually together. Breaking news. So we have on Flight 1, Allie and Steve and Mike and Rochelle. Flight 2 carried Haley and Blair, Laura and Tyler, and both the JJ teams of Jenny and Jelani and Jeff and Jackie. And then flight number 3, Matt and Ashley, just because of a mistake of the front desk people in the airport. They got on a later flight.
Yeah, and they're on Team Justin. I was annoyed. They didn't do anything wrong, darn it. They're engaged and sweet. Come on. Where's the good luck for them?
Yeah, seriously.
Very true. Once the teams landed in Monaco, they all made their way to the Hotel Westminster, and I loved seeing them get dressed up. You know, just the jewelry, like the whole attire just worked.
I loved it, and the girls got so into it. Like getting, they've been running around in workout gear this whole time just to be able to put on a dress and feel elegant and sexy again. The girls got really into it, which I loved.
I think the same thing for the guys as well. I mean, you are in the same gross clothes, and you just want to just get dressed up here in Monaco and just feel like a real gent. You know?
I gotta say, a lot of the guys looked very handsome, very nicely and cleaned up, because they're in race garb the entire time, but they clean up nicely.
They looked very nice.
But for some, it didn't last very long. I love Mike, but he just was drenched
Oh my gosh, his jacket was so drenched in sweat. At first,
not even the dress underneath the jacket.
I did a little double take. At first, I was like, is it going for like a tie-dye look? But no, that was definitely sweat.
Maybe it was raining. It looked like it was.
But Steve looked so hot.
Whoa, Jess. Whoa.
Sorry, Allie. Don't worry. He's still yours.
Steve looked very dapper.
Tyler.
I've got to say, Blair did it for me this episode. I think Blair looked very dashing in his suit.
He had a little bow tie on or something, didn't he?
Oh, Jeff had that red bow tie. Yeah. Jeff looked adorable, too. So
cute.
Going back to Ellis Tedder, he actually just confirmed that apparently Haley said on Twitter that Jeff and Haley are just friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have to say that until
the season's over.
Yeah. It's just like The Bachelor.
Which would make sense because Joseph Boza is piping in about how that we hope that Phil hosts a reunion for this season. Or maybe we can just host a reunion show. He literally said, Jeff, Justin, and Jessica host a reunion for AfterBuzz TV. That would be fun.
Oh my God, could you imagine how fast CBS would be calling us, being like, shut it down.
Shut it down.
We don't want all of these secrets to come out.
Seriously.
I love it.
We'd be blacklisted from CBS forever.
Sure. Yep.
Let's do it.
I felt like one of the keywords, and you may think of it right away when I say this, one of the keywords for this episode, do you have an idea what I'm trying to say?
No.
Bougie. The amount of times team said bougie this episode, I was like, why is it's so bougie not the name of the episode?
Yeah.
It
really should have been.
Yeah.
Or bougie in Monaco. Something.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it was funny when they said it like once and twice, but yeah, everyone was saying it. They must have been told like this leg bougie.
Yeah, like okay, word of the episode, bougie.
Yeah. And it was very bougie. It was a good word.
Yeah.
It's not used enough.
I love that word. It's fun to say.
I think it was Tyler that first started the bouginess this episode, and then it just seemed to be a continuous theme.
Just kept
for the next 40 years. Once the teams landed, once the teams got all dressed up and whatnot, they had to make their way to the heliport to take the helicopter over to Monaco, where they received, the moment they landed on the heliport there, they received their clue for the roadblock, which was who wants to treat their partner, which was a great tribute to the film actress Grace Kelly, I gotta say. The roadblock was one team member must travel by foot and order Grace Kelly's favorites, which are a bouquet of flowers and chocolates, then deliver them to their partner who would be waiting for them on a marked yacht to receive their next clue. In this roadblock, Steve, Mike, Jenny, Haley, Laura, Jackie, and Matt all competed. Overall, what did you guys think of the roadblock?
I just wanted the chocolate. I wanted every single one of those chocolates. And at first, when they delivered the chocolates, I thought, okay, are they allowed to eat them, or is that going to be part of like the next challenge? Like, hopefully you didn't eat your chocolates because you have to do this or deliver them somewhere. But I thought it was, the other teammate just got to chill on this gorgeous yacht. No complaining
like Tyler.
there. Yeah, Tyler's just like, oh, just waiting.
Living it up.
And then the partner had to get the flowers and the roses and then deliver them. So
yeah, I really liked it, and I love challenges where sometimes they have to do things where you don't really get to see what part of the world they're in. And I loved everything about this. From the helicopter ride in, you saw how beautiful Monaco was.
Beautiful.
And they're running up this amazing staircase, although very physically challenging. Give it that. But I thought it was really neat. Although I will say, don't hate me, but I will say, Jess, that I found it interesting with the girls versus the guys who did this challenge, because the guys were trying to pick out what chocolate the girls would like,
and the girls
were like, "Who cares about him? I want what I like."
Which is so funny because Jess said, "I loved the chocolate."
yeah, see? Are you kidding? Chocolate
I
is
just
a
thought it
girl's
was
best
really
friend.
funny. They didn't care what the guys like chocolate wise. They were like, "I want this one."
Yeah, they're like, I'm
this
just gonna
one,
pick out what
and
I
this
want.
one.
And actually, that's exactly what I would have done.
Arrow Man piping in on the Roadblock conversation, he says, "I'm so glad that it was mixed up and not just the guys going to do it." Because, we've seen most Roadblocks, it's usually the guys that will just carry the team.
Right.
But especially, let's talk about Haley. She even said, "I wanted to take this one because I wanted to show that I can actually carry the team and pull my weight." And I got to hand it to her. She did it.
Yeah.
I don't think she complained once.
I know. And
It was weird.
Arrow Man said that he liked how the two girls, and I believe it was Laura and Jenny,
Working together.
So they're starting to build up these alliances. And
I honestly, though, going back, we were talking about Haley, and she wasn't complaining. I missed it. I know we talked about how horrible it is, but then I realized this
you
episode.
missed the complaining?
Jessica, I really did. I sound such a
never
hypocrite.
thought I would hear you say that.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing, though. I don't think I realized how entertaining it was.
Maybe that's why I like this episode so much, because there was no complaining from Haley. She just, I don't know what you were thinking, but I liked the no complaining.
I don't know. I like to have a villain. And not that she's a villainous character, but I like to have somebody be like, "Oh, she's so annoying."
No, you like a diva.
That's a good point. That is not a villain.
That's not a villain. That is a diva.
She's a reality diva.
For everyone that's watching online live right now, am I the only one out here that missed it?
Yes.
Please let me know if there's anyone else out there that missed the complaining from Haley, so I'm not crazy. Prove Jessica and James wrong.
I've been saying all along that I just love Haley because she is the entertainment. Even without the complaining, I thought she was entertaining this episode because she just, I got curves. Oh, Blair looks like Pee Wee Herman in that outfit. She just has great commentary, which makes it fun to watch
She
her.
has great one-liners. It's just the complaining.
Well, applause for the casting director who found Haley. Well done.
Sunshaw Scylla Hedgehog 7 said, "I didn't miss Haley's complaining one."
Amen, brother.
Fine.
Joseph Boza said something that's really interesting. "Something tells me that Haley and Blair could have planned for Haley to be complaining and bitchy just to throw the other teams off about how well their relationship is." That could be the case.
Yeah.
I think it's a little overplayed.
I don't give them that much credit. Sorry, Joseph Bosa, but I just think that they thought that hard about it. I don't think Haley goes that deep.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Now that since we're still on the topic of Haley and Blair, which is such a hot topic apparently.
Yeah.
Fra Troda said, "You definitely said Haley and Blair have more in common with each other, like their backgrounds and chemistry." And I agree. I think there's maybe a little bit more going on between the two of them than meets the eye.
And speaking of chemistry, that leads us into our detour.
Yes, our detour. Actually, I want to point out one thing that Mike said that I thought was really cute. He goes, "I love this challenge because I've gotten Rochelle roses every month since they've been dating." Oh, Mike's a little romantic at heart.
He
I like
is.
it. I really like the two of them. I wish they were on my team.
And you wouldn't really expect that from a guy like Mike.
Yeah.
And I think that's so charming, and they're growing on me. I think they're like one of my faves now.
Yeah, they are. Mine too.
Team James, what?
How does this always happen to us?
No, right?
Moving on to the detour. Before we actually saw the detour play out, we did see the teams show up to the hotel, the Casino de Monte Carlo, where they had to do the roulette to actually determine which part of the detour they were doing, which I loved.
I thought they actually had to gamble.
Which would have been interesting.
It was just fun to see it because you see it in the James Bond movies.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such an iconic hotel that there's no way you could be in Monaco and not show it.
Right.
So I thought it was a really neat way to decide which team team got to do which roadblock. And I'm sorry, I'll get to it. I don't want to ruin it, but I'll get to it later. At first, I thought it was really unfair who got assigned which challenge to do, and that turned out being the complete opposite of what I thought. But it's hard when you don't get to choose which one you do, because just the numbers of the roulette table, it's everything for you. So I don't know. I'd be kind of frustrated if I were certain teams, because it's like you realize now that one seemed to be way better than the other one.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I was just waiting for someone to be like, I can't do this, and then have to go back and redo the roulette just with the hope of getting it on a different color. That would have been interesting.
Oh, that would have been so good.
By the way, I have to point this out, Justin, you are not the only one that missed Haley's complaining. Ruth V, who seems to be Team
Ruth.
Justin, got a little crush on you.
Hey, Ruth.
So for this detour, if the roulette ball landed on red, it was don't slack off. If it was on black, it would be win by a nose. In win by the nose detour, teams had to make perfume and cologne by using 12 essences in order to match original recipes. And don't slack off, teams had to zipline 2,000 feet above the city of Laturby's cliffside and then walk a tightrope back to receive their next clue. It was pretty even. 4 teams did 1, 3 teams did 1. It was interesting that it wasn't like 5 and just 2.
Right.
So for the win by a nose part of the detour, Allie and Steve, Mike and Rochelle, Laura and Tyler, or as we should call them, Magdalena and Hayes for their bougie names, and Blair and Haley all had to do this one. What did you guys think of this section of the detour?
This one you had to really pay attention to details.
Yes.
And this one would have been, for me, boring. I mean, I never have ever wanted to make perfume, kind of check that box. But it would have been kind of interesting, and actually I'm pretty good with details, so I would have, once you kind of got and understood the recipe of how to make it, it would be pretty easy as long as you just followed, okay, this much, this many drops, whatever. So I guess I would have been good at it, but it just would have been boring compared to the other one.
I really liked it because, as we know, some of the scents weren't labeled, and so you just had to just guess what it was by smelling it. But we've all been to a shopping mall where you have to smell a million colognes or perfumes to buy, and after a while it all kind of blends together. So I think that's why it wasn't quite as easy as it initially seemed, because after a while your scents just kind of get mixed up and you're like, I don't know if this is caramel, I don't know if this is something coffee, I don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And so I liked how it was a little more challenging. I also liked that this is when we saw Mike and Rochelle show that they are a real couple, because it's not always roses, you know, and we see that a little bit.
But even if they are struggling a little bit, they still, keep cool, and they don't stress out. They're very calm. They just try to stay focused while using the other teams who are coming and going as okay, we're now the last team here. We need to step it up.
Exactly.
But, and I don't know about you guys, but after, it's hard to differentiate all those smells.
It really is,
I mean, this would have been really challenging.
Someone actually talking about the detour, a JKL just said, I thought at first that this detour wasn't fair, the part win by nose, but then my girlfriend pointed out that the pit stop may be closer, and she was right, which we see these teams actually get the top placings for the leg.
I don't want to say it yet, but that's exactly what I was talking about. What happened was, maybe it was the way they edited it, but if you got don't slack off, it seemed like you could complete that challenge in 2 seconds. If you got win by a nose, it took you much longer. I thought it was so unfair that teams that got to do win by a nose. It turns out it must have been location-wise way closer, because everyone that did win by a nose it seemed like an advantage when it came to the pit stop. So I was totally thrown off by that.
Well, it could have been that, but also if you think about it, there wasn't a lot going on with the win by nose, so they could have just made it seem like it was a longer, more difficult challenge, whereas in the long run, the zip lining, because they had to zip line across and then they had to walk back, and it might have actually, because of the wind and everything, it might have just taken them quite a while to get back. So even though it seems like who knows, obviously we don't know because of editing and everything, but there's 2 different things to think about there.
I think it was a lot of editing though, because when you watched win by a nose, it made it seem like Mike and Rochelle were done, because they're the last ones to leave, and I'm probably jumping way ahead. Sorry, James.
That's okay.
But what's funny is you saw all the teams that did Don't Slack Off finish. It looked like way before Win by a Nose, and then you see it come to the pit stop. Every single team who did Win by a Nose was ahead of every single team who did Don't Slack Off.
True.
That's why I was surprised when I said I was cheering. I was completely opposite of what I thought.
Yeah.
I loved the Win by a Nose portion of the Detour. I would have hoped that I would have ended up with this if I did this.
Really?
Only because I love scents. It's so weird. Every time I'm in Target or Yankee Candle Company or Bath and Body Works, I literally have to smell every single fragrance. If I pick up just one lotion bottle or one candle and sniff it, I have to go down the whole shelf. And I feel like it's so weird. I just love scent. It's so strange.
That must drive Will absolutely crazy.
It does. So for me, I would have loved that, absolutely. And I think it takes a lot of focus, but you're right, things start to blend in after a while. So I think it would have been a little bit more challenging. But yeah, it seems like the teams did pretty well.
Frobby Troda, sorry if I'm totally butchering that, but he said, I felt bad for those teams because I would have got a headache from all the scents. And I'm right there with ya.
Yeah.
Even if I just test like 2 or 3 perfumes, I'm like, whoa, my head, my nose, I'm done.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah. So there was definitely, one was more physical, but not even that physical, and then the other one was just challenging.
But Don't Slack Off, though, I mean, it was amazing views.
Oh, gorgeous.
But if you were scared of heights, I think they had a good strategy of just close your eyes. Just do the best you can. I would have loved this one. This would have been my jam, James. You like the scent one? I love heights like this. I love scenic views, and I would have loved to have done Don't Slack Off.
Let us know what you guys think. Awesome. You guys, this chat is seriously, I'm loving it.
Blowing up.
This is so awesome. Let us know what detour you guys would have chosen. Win by a Nose or Don't Slack Off?
And Don't Slack Off teams Jenny and Jelani, Jeff and Jackie, and Matt and Ashley.
And it was gorgeous.
It was beautiful. And I just really appreciated how enthusiastic Jenny was because she loved every second. This is awesome. But I don't know about you guys. For this part of the detour, you could have made a drinking game out of how many times Ashley used the word amazing.
Amazing. The Amazing Race.
It was like amazing, blah, blah, blah. This is amazing. Or I loved that. That was amazing. And it was just over and over.
Okay, we get
It's the Amazing Race. We get it. It's amazing. So we also saw with I think that was the only teams that really stuck out to me for the detour of Jeff had an issue with the wind. You could see he was just shaking. That to me would have been freaking me out a little bit. Just because that's out of your control.
Right.
Mother Nature is a beast of its own.
Yes, very true.
But it's also one of those, I mean, I've never done Fear Factor, but whenever I watch some people freaked out, it's always one of those things where if it was too dangerous, the show wouldn't have you do it. So I just say, keep telling yourself that. It's windy up there, but your life's not in jeopardy because they wouldn't have you do that.
Right. And if you fell, you're still attached. Like, you're safe, Good point.
I mean, easy to say for me sitting here in my chair. But I think I would have been just fine with that. It's windy, but if it was too windy, they would have pulled the challenge. So suck it up.
Like remember when Jason and Amy had to go to the top of that skyscraper for a fast forward and they couldn't do it because it was way too windy.
And the whole time this Don't Slack Off was going off, I just kept remembering how much Rochelle hates heights. And so luckily she was actually given the Win by a Nose, because if she was given the other one, who knows? She could have just been so scared that would have been a true challenge for her.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of people in the chat, Jess, are answering your question. Everyone seems, majority of them would be doing Don't Slack Off.
See, so there you go, James. You're just crazy.
I'm crazy.
Doing the sense,
Can't help that I have great nostrils. I'm just kidding. But Erica Klein says, I would have been terrified, and I'm right there with her. I can't do heights. Although the view would have been beautiful.
Yes.
And then back to the other detour, some notes that I wrote was Blair. I thought his comment about how if you dress up a woman, she's happier all day. Because, hey, Haley didn't complain. And I thought it was interesting. Tyler, putting his foot in his mouth by saying, Mike and Rochelle are a weak team. I don't care how far they are ahead of us. Well, they checked in third, and Lauren Tyler, you almost went home.
Don't speak too fast.
I'm surprised he really did. I'm glad you said that, James. I was surprised when he said that because even though you might view that, I mean, they've won first. They've already won the whole leg. They continue to do well. They beat you on a flight. So I mean, come on, dude. Like, gotta get credit where credit's due.
They honestly have been going from the back of the bus to the front of the bus, the back of the bus to the front of the bus. Like, they haven't even ever been really in the middle.
It's exhausting.
I don't know how they're doing it, but keep it up.
Keep it up, Mike and Rochelle. Team James. So for the pit stop in first place, which shocked the heck out of me, none of us predicted Haley and Blair getting first last week.
What? Whose team are they on, by the way?
Mine.
Oh, dear God.
Blair and Haley got first place and went a trip to South Africa.
Gorgeous. I'm
Jealous.
Yeah.
I freaked out when I saw that. Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
And Blair said a point of, I said that if we had of no arguing that we would get first place. So it'd be interesting to see if this continues.
Yeah.
In second place, we have Team Sochi Love, Allie and Steve. Third place, Truck Stop Love, Mike and Rochelle. Fourth place, the hairstylist Matt and Ashley. The legal team in fifth, Jenny and Jelani. And then in sixth place, Laura and Tyler, Team SoCal, who also won the date night this leg.
Yep.
And then last but not least, Jeff and Jackie.
So sad.
I was absolutely floored and shocked. If you would have said at the start of this episode, who do you think's going to go home? It sure as hell wasn't Jeff and Jack.
No.
I never would have guessed that.
Never guessed that in a million years. And that's why I said this editing was so tricky, because it made it seem like if you did that, the thing, I think you'd be ahead. And they didn't really even show Jeff and Jackie falling behind and trying to get directions.
Right.
Not at all.
To the challenge. It was just everyone was lost trying to get to the mat. And there was no I didn't even know who to be nervous for.
I know.
Because it seemed like everyone was just fine.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see it coming at all.
And last week, I went back and watched the after show last week when I wasn't here, and Jess said Jeff and Jackie would go home just as I did because of the fighting. But like you said, watching the beginning of this episode, I was like, oh, there's no way. That prediction's going to be wrong because they're starting off strong. I thought Matt and Ashley were going to go home.
And they were fighting last episode, and then this episode, they kissed on camera. I was like, whoa, okay. So at least we got to see them kiss before they left.
Yeah.
And Jackie said, I'm going to give him my number. So
I didn't believe it, though.
Sad to say goodbye to Jeff and Jackie, but it'd be nice to get a little update on the status of their relationship.
Whose team are they on?
Not mine.
Jess?
Were they on mine?
I think they might have been.
I think they might have been.
You guys, now I'm only stuck with one more team.
Yeah, Allie
one more team.
Allie and Steve.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Well,
Keep it
next week they don't look like. Let's go into predictions. Speaking of Allie and Steve.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, at the beginning of this season, for the fantasy points, I said at the halfway point we would be able to do trades and swaps or whatever, but there are no more wild card teams. Bergen and Kurt have left, and so did, who was the other one? Was it Levia and CJ?
I think so, yeah.
So our wild cards are gone, so now we're stuck with the teams we have.
I'm just trying to figure out who I even have. So I have Matt and Ashley, the hairstylist.
And you also have Team SoCal, Laura and Tyler.
Is that all I have left?
Yes.
Damn it.
How does James always have all three teams the entire season?
That's not true.
Cheats.
Last
He
season I
knows
did not
people at
do
CBS.
well.
He knows people in casting.
No, that's
he
not true.
rigged
I think Bergen has been talking to him this whole time, telling him all the secrets.
Sure. He knows a guy.
Yeah.
He knows a guy, Jess.
No, you guys. No, but maybe. No, just kidding. So next week it's a 2-hour episode.
Yes.
Teams are heading to Namibia in Africa, which is going to be very exciting.
Gorgeous.
It looks like teams are pulling zebras around, which as we've
Safari.
seen in past seasons, when you have an animal for a challenge, it's out of your control because they have a mind of their own.
Some of those are the best, though. The animal ones are hilarious. I'm excited.
Now, I know this will come as a huge shock to our AfterBuzz listeners, but once again, I was wrong. James, you were gone last week. I was complaining about how I didn't like how they flew all the way from Southeast Asia to Europe, because I was like, we just missed the Middle East, Africa. I go, we just went way past everything.
Yeah.
I was wrong. They're going to Africa.
They're
They're going
So
to
I
Africa.
apologize to everyone for being all disgruntled that we skipped all these continents, but they're going. Thank goodness.
So thank goodness for Allie, because she keeps giving me the updates. I've been traveling. I've been all over the place, and I haven't really had a chance to sit down and figure out the fantasy points. But she did tell me today that I'm at 61 points, Jess is at 41 points, and Justin's at 38 points.
What? Hold on.
Me and my one team left is beating your butt.
We need to check Allie's math here. I think you also know Allie very well, because she's cheating. 38 to 61. Are you kidding me?
Hey, Joseph did say James has been very lucky this cycle, and I believe, I don't remember who else said it because the chat's blowing up, but that one leg where all teams got first 3 places, that even shocked me.
You got that lucky charm that Mike and Rochelle have.
Which we have, right? Mike and Michelle keep pulling in for me. But yeah, I'm going to go back, though, and really hunker down and figure this out, because it's been a while since I've really had a visual.
And she's always on this, so I'm not saying I don't don't believe her, but just I hope she's wrong for our sake, Jess.
Yes.
I really do. 'Cause
Although
we're neck
I
and
know,
neck.
Allie, I know you. You got this, girl.
Oh,
She's on
got
top
it.
of her
I
game.
know. I'm just hoping that there's some kind of error. Instead of 61, you have like.
You know what I
21.
think the error might have been is that every week as the teams get eliminated, you know how I had like, first place 5 points, second place 4, third place 3rd, and then it's like second, or second 2 points for the teams after that, and then last 3 places are 1 point. When a team gets eliminated, I change it, so now it's like 2 point teams, and then the rest are 1 point. So I've been just taking it off as teams are getting eliminated. So maybe I messed that up.
Well, let's just say you messed it up and you actually have 21.
Okay,
there you
let's
go.
just do that.
That solves that. That solves that issue real fast. Thanks, James.
But now that we're at 6 teams left, first place from now on will get 3 points. First place will get 4, second place will get 3, third will get 2, and everyone else will get 1. Changing up the points a little bit.
Got it.
So let's dive into predictions. Justin, who do you think's going to get first, and who do you think's going to get last?
I don't know, James. This is so hard. All right, so I'm going to say that my hairdressers are going to get first.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm all over
Should we
the
make
place.
2 predictions since this is a 2-hour?
But I always do so bad
Oh, is
with
it?
these.
So there's 2 pit stops?
I'm going to assume there might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would leave.
It's got to be a non-elimination coming up soon, though. I really think that one could be a non-elimination.
let's say that. One of the episodes next week are non-elimination.
Yeah, I think
that's what I
there must be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all say that one of the 2 will be a non-elim, and then let's give predictions for whatever the other one might be. So you say hairstylists are first.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'm just literally throwing at people. Lawyers are going to go home.
Okay. I know they're fading off the
They're
wayside
less
for
camera
me.
time. They're not getting along.
No.
Like, I just think that they're starting to crumble.
Yeah,
Get 'em
for
out.
sure. I agree with you. I think Jenny and Jelani are going home.
Okay.
And I just have to say, my one and only team left is going to get first, Allie and Steve.
Okay, Allie and Steven first. So I am going to do exact opposite. I actually think Allie and Steve are going to go home. Only because of the preview, they have a flat tire. And usually mistakes like that could absolutely take a team out of their
Do you
game.
think the editors would put a huge issue like that, a flat tire, if they really are going home?
Good point. You never really know.
Maybe that's the non-elimination.
That could be the case. But we've always seen in the past, we've always said, okay, strong teams, Allie and Steve, they're going to go far, they're going to go far. But there's always something luck-based that knocks them out of the running.
Yeah.
And I think this could be one of those situations where it's just going to knock Allie and Steve out of the running. Because they have to go home at some point, otherwise they're going to be in the top 3.
They're the cyclists of the season.
Yeah.
Just one crazy thing happens to the cyclists and then they're gone.
That's a really good comparison. So that's why I'm just going to throw out Allie and Steve because I really have no idea. Although I would like to say the lawyers.
Okay.
But they're on my team, so I can't say them. And then in first place, I am going to pull through and I'm going to say Haley and Blair. I know that sounds...
Again?
Yeah.
2 times in a row?
I think that Haley's going to be like, I didn't complain. I wasn't as hard as I was on Blair before. And I'm going to have in this, coming to terms moment of how we got first because I didn't complain. And maybe she'll get first place again.
I would actually be happy with that epiphany, so hopefully she does, just for my own mind savior.
Deal.
Joseph Boza agrees with you, Jess, about how maybe Allie and Steve have the tire problem on a non-elimination episode, which very well could be the case. Fra B. Troda said, I think that the lawyers are going to go home too, but whatever happened to their express pass? We haven't talked about the express pass in a while, so thanks for the reminder, Fra B. Troda.
I forgot they even had it.
Have they even done a fast forward this season?
No.
So maybe we'll see a fast forward in the next 2 episodes. So these are good topics of conversation for the future. Arrowman says no one this coming week.
Ooh, Arrowman thinks the lawyers will win.
What?
I don't think so. There's just no way.
They would have to really turn their relationship around, I think, to win.
I really think Laura and Tyler are going to win.
Ruth, I'm with you,
hope
girl.
so.
Allie and Steve for the win.
How many points do I get if my team wins the whole race? That
should be like 20 points, like
You're
bonus,
right.
hello.
We still have an opportunity to win.
I still have a chance to win this then, if I can get like 1,000 points.
I just think they're...
Oh, Jekyll?
We're so bad with girls'
I'm
names.
so
I'm so
bad.
sorry.
He says the 2-hour episode is on his birthday, so happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, also, I have to tell you guys. Oh, go ahead, Jess.
Okay, so I read the comments on the YouTube from last week.
I like how you're like, it's like Michael Garman says that on that YouTube.
On our YouTube channel, I read the comments from last episode, and we need to talk about them because a lot of people were making fun of me.
I saw.
Yeah.
I think I saw that comment.
Arrow Man said, Jess, stop yelling. I love your enthusiasm, but you don't need to yell. So hopefully I didn't yell. I'm so excited.
We forget that people are often listening as they drive in their cars. So we probably like scare them as they're driving. Like, ah!
I'm so sorry.
Hopefully we didn't cause any accidents.
And then Joel Aarons said that he's ditching Team Jess for Justin.
Oh, Joel, good to have you on board, buddy. I mean, I know you just heard the point rundown, but hey, have faith, Joel. I always seem to come back. It happened last season. Don't jump ship again. Stay with Team Justin, all right?
Yes. And then Jim Nakar, he said, yeah, Jess, I would love to see you drink all of the beers, all 10 of the beers, and then carry them. So clearly he thinks that I would get way too drunk off the beers.
Well, I think, James, that the next episode I'll bring in a 12-pack. We're going to have you get absolutely hammered while we do the show, and then we're going to make you carry these empty beer cans around the table here in the studio. James, you down for this?
Okay.
I'll drive you home afterwards, Jess, but you're not encouraged drinking.
Just to point out, Ruth really just took a jump off of Team Justin and now is on Team Jess.
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Wait, why?
Yeah, hashtag swap team, hashtag Team Jess is what Ruth just said.
Hashtag why, Ruth? Why?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So sad.
So...
Oh, by the way, James, I have to let you know, though, I'm really excited but really sad at the same time.
What's going on?
So next week, a big 2-hour episode, but I will not be here, everyone, for next week's 2-hour episode. Hold on, it is AfterBuzz Amazing Race related. As you guys know, from 2-3 seasons ago, Jason and Amy are getting married. And,
oh my gosh, that's right. How can I forget?
They're getting married next week. And you know what, James? I needed a vacation. So I'm not even sure I was invited to the wedding, but I just decided I'm going to go crash it. So I'm actually flying all the way from Los Angeles to the Caribbean on this Friday to go attend their wedding. I should maybe tell them I'm going to come. I don't think they know I'm coming.
Oh my gosh, give them a big, big, big hug from James and I.
You obviously need to film a little segment at the beach or something with some racers and send it to us so we can share it here.
I'll have my phone with me, and I'm going to be posting lots of pictures of Jason and Amy's wedding. So if you're a fan of The Amazing Race or AfterBuzz, certainly we tell you every week, but you can follow me on social media, and I'll be posting like crazy, but I am going to be gone next week. But at least it's Amazing Race related.
At least.
That's why you need to film.
I'm such a super fan. I'm flying halfway around the country to go to Jason and Amy's wedding in the Caribbean.
I'm so happy
love
for them.
We love them.
So forgive my absence.
Just really quick, Saul President made another good point. You know, maybe instead of a non-elimination next week, it's like a carryover lag. You know how sometimes Phil will be like, the leg's not over.
Keep going.
Keep racing.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. I thought that it was just going to be like a keep going race.
I could see that actually happening too, because usually the non-elimination is like the top 4, where it's like you think you're going to go home and you're not in the top 3, and then you still have a leg to redeem yourself. So we'll see. What a great episode.
Yes.
It was. It really, really was.
I'm glad we're all back together. Yeah. And thank you for all the 25 viewers that are watching right now.
That was awesome.
And the viewers who are watching it later. I mean, James, our original one is now up to around 8,000 views. We did say that we would do something absolutely ridiculous. Viewers choose what that is if we reach 10,000. So if you are desperate to try to see us do something so ridiculous in our studio, then make sure that you share not only this episode of AfterBuzz on your social media links, but also keep sending out the links for episode 1. That's the best bet. The rest of them trail down, but the one of them's around 8,000 views.
Awesome.
Getting very close. Yeah.
Super close.
Dun
dun dun.
All right, you guys. Well, I think that kind of sums up this episode.
It does. Good to have you back, James.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I missed you both.
We've missed you like crazy.
Where can they find you on social media, Justin?
You can find me at Justin J. Nichols, Nichols, on all social media. And like I said, I will post tons of photos of Jason and Amy's wedding.
Yay!
And you guys can find me at DressJessXO on all social media.
Yay! You can find me at James Wallington on Twitter and at James.Wallington on Instagram. And then on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Where's Wallington, I just went to Reality Rally this last weekend here in
how was
Temecula. It was so amazing. I will definitely have some videos up of that and I'll have pictures. I met a lot of people from different shows like Survivor, Big Brother, and The Amazing Race. So definitely make sure you come follow me on social media to see all the awesome pictures from my wonderful adventure this past weekend.
I cannot wait.
Thanks. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Justin will miss you.
Bye, everybody. I'll miss you too.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.